Hey guys, I'm Bitter. Welcome to the cave. Let's talk about big crabs. So the life cycle of a coconut crab. After a specific interaction with a male between the months of March and September, the male coconut crab carries her eggs on herself. A few months after, it's time to release the larva into the ocean, and this is very dangerous. Adult coconut crabs cannot swim or breathe underwater. They tend to lay eggs on rocky shores where waves wash over. As mentioned, if they get pulled out by a wave, they're dead. The larvae float around for a while, and many will get eaten. Eventually, though, they gain weight and sink, where the search begins for a shell to wear. Not long after this, it's time to go to shore. As they grow, they're going to struggle to find a shell, and often use parts of coconuts laying around. It's also at this point they lose the ability to breathe underwater and become permanent land dwellers. They'll start forming a hardened abdomen at the age of 5 years old and reach sexual maturity. By this time, they're tough and don't really have any natural predators. They're about as big as they're going to get at 40 to 60 years old, but it's theorized that they could keep growing until 120. Near the largest they can get, as we've found them, is the weight of nearly 9 pounds and having a leg span of 1 meter, that's over 3 feet. During life on land, the coconut crabs prefer to eat fleshy fruits, nuts, and seeds, but the most notable plant food it eats is coconuts. One of these crabs can grab a coconut, climb up a tree up to 33 feet, and drop it to break it open. They can get down surprisingly fast too, by climbing down and jumping up to 15 feet off the ground and landing with no damage, just none. From here, the crab will use its powerful claw and pointy feet to pick apart the fleshy bit, the coconut, for food. But, if it didn't work, they can grab it and do it again. Usually, you'll find them on islands in the southwest Pacific and much of the Indian Ocean, and well, there is some on continental coasts. These clever guys will live alone in burrows and rock crevices, and tend to stay hidden during the day to avoid heat and loss of water. These burrows contain the remains of coconut husks to use as bedding, and they have to close these up and create a microclimate to make it easier for them to breathe under the hot sun. They'll also come out when the air is particularly moist or when it's raining during the day. However, in certain places with particularly high populations, you can see the coconut crabs coming out during the day for an advantage in hunting, as there's just too many for them all to hunt at night and everyone to get something. I should mention that coconut crabs are a little more monstrous than I've painted them to be at this point. They'll happily eat dead animals and tortoise hatchlings, and we've seen coconut crabs catching and eating other smaller crabs, pinching through them with no effort, and scavenging other coconut crabs' dead bodies. In even scarier events, they've been observed catching things such as a rat and even a bird. Small dogs that have been brought to the island can also fall victim to them. They show no mercy. The crab that caught a bird broke both of its wings before ending its suffering, and by the time it was actually eating, there was a crowd of 20 other crabs picking up on the scent of blood and swarming around. There's even a theory that coconut crabs are to blame for the unsolved disappearance of Amelia Earhart's body, and a few of those could pretty easily make a human body, a small one like herself, disappear. They tend to pull bones and food bits into their burrows. So if you end up stranded on one of those many little islands, maybe it's best to just swim back out into the middle of the ocean and hope a boat spots you rather than trying to fight the crabs. Later.
Also, hey guys, sorry for the awkward audio and the fact that I did this whole thing in one take. I have caught the big scary virus that everyone's hiding away from. So, my voice isn't the best, and I'm kind of ashamed of the low effort I put into this script. By the way, I actually did a script for this one instead of some talking points. Alright, later.